Pokeventure is, well, in shambles right now. Frequent bot breaks, and, well, the economy being broken, and worst of all, the lack of updates, which makes the game very boring to some OG players.
In short, Pokeventure is in shambles. Again, who would have seen this coming?
NANI?!
Okay, first problem in the entire Pokeventure conundrum, the broken economy. Well, this economy is in a really bad state. Many players are currently juicing money from raids so much that literally everyone has at least millions of coins. Everyone worth their salt has at least a million coins. The main reason? Well, sets are being leaked. And that's the short answer. Long answer is that, well, bits of sets are getting leaked. And with every bit that gets leaked, there's a higher potential for a random player who managed to get the mod that was required for a raid to instantly start shredding teams. And that tends to happen in Pokeventure. So yeah, inflation happens and the economy is currently broken. Money feels completely worthless outside of grinding and to get metaphorical values or just for buying Pokemon on the market.
And the second point for the Pokeventure conundrum as well, lack of updates. Me and Ethanol especially have been playing this bot for quite a while actually, and with the recent lack of events / updates to the bot, other than maybe a prefix update, there isn't much going on, and considering all you do is just raid, mega raid, wild grind, and snipe stuff on the market, there isn't really much to do other than doing that, and an event really does bring flexibility and fun to the bot. And well, I remember the day when we joined on the Melton event and we were just farming Meltons from all across the map. It was surely fun hunting down these metal nuts one by one. And well, I can't say that to the current Pokeventure situation.
So talking about potential updates, I feel one thing Pokeventure could definitely use is the new proposed clan raid mechanic that Nick has currently been talking about. And if you can, just take your time off, go ahead and try fixing the bot and stopping it from consistently crashing when people join to farm raids, because people look at money raids, whales look at money raids, and they're ooh, money, and then everyone comes crashing onto the scene, and the bot just crashes. So there was this one time, it doesn't apply just to legendary raids, it's people who go on money raids, a Snorlax raid provides enough incentive for the people with the league fighting type raid sets, they kinda just bust in and the bot crashes. It crashed because of the Snorlax raid. I feel that emphasizes about the problem of Pokeventure's current state of bot crashes. They come here for the simplest of reasons and it just sticks there. And that sucks. So that's one thing that could definitely be dealt with, just so I'd advise the developer here to just close out the bot for a week and then start fixing it, maybe. Just, take your time. And then secondly is that, the update thingy. The clan raid update could definitely bring some more incentive for people to grind money for, catching Pokemon, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see where this goes for, the normal thingy to, look at it. Basically that, and this is my personal hot take for a potential update. New frickin' mega raids. We need new forms for the Pokemon that currently don't have their alternate forms unlocked, say Zagor Complete, the Calyrex forms, Zacian Crown, Samson Crown, etc. You know. Basically, we'd advise putting those into the new mega raid roster And because that would definitely provide a new incentive for like Uber PvP players to like, you know, chase the new legendary, it's like I could definitely see Scarf Calyrex or like just general Calyrex being an immense threat in the Uber PvP meta, while Zacian Crown is, you know, banned to anything goes. Keck W. Anyways, yeah, that's some of the things I definitely could hope for to see in like new Pokeventure. And speaking of the meta,
Hey, you! Yes, you! Have you ever wanted to play a Pokemon game where you actually have to grind and lose your sanity for obtaining Mega Pokemon? Do you hate losing to random freezes or critical hits 24/7? Do you like playing 3v3 deathmatches like a true try-hard Pokemon gamer? Okay, I might have sounded a bit too weird there. Introducing PvPventure, the fan-made Pokeventure community that is the true embodiment of competitive Pokemon. That might have been an exaggeration, but I'm sticking with it. So, in PvPventure, there is a pretty solid meta going on, consisting of tier A+ Pokemon. And well, let's just, you know, say it out. Garchomp, Magirna, Rillaboom, Greninja, Regieleki, and the Charizard Megas are the big 6 meta slaves of the PvPventure quote-unquote OU meta. Garchomp is omnipresent because it's a raid mon, and you know, it got banned to Ubers for a reason. Its stab combination is extremely good and doesn't get resisted by a lot of types. And Corviknight isn't really that common here. Magirna, that thing got banned into Ubers in Gen 8 because of the store power set. And guess what? People are catching up and running store power here too. However, there are a couple of more checks here, and without EVs, Magirna isn't really that bulky anymore. Rillaboom is here just because you just click Grassy Glide and just watch opponents drop. Especially for softer offensive threats like the Greninja just vibing in the corner. Speaking of Greninja, that mon is also pretty common here, considering how many people know it, and well, it's popular for a reason, I guess. Life Orb sets, Focus Sash sets, and even sets with Shadow Sneak exist here. Regieleki only got into the meta recently, but when you get rid of your opponent's ground types, or they didn't even bring a ground type at all, Regieleki, just like in Showdown, wrecks everything in sight. And don't forget, Regieleki has screens on its side. As for the Charizard Megas, let's just say it's a return to Generation 6 here. And these Charizards are pretty unwallable considering the current state of the meta, and with Mega Charizard Y brutally destroying Magirna and Rillaboom, and Mega Charizard X vibing on Regieleki and Rillaboom, maybe Magirna, and well, this is how the meta develops. So yeah, have fun out there, I guess.
oh, and something about the other two moves. Like, you might be asking, why don't you talk about tier A to C? Well, that's because the tier is kinda awkward. You see, Hawlucha is in tier B, normal Articuno is also in tier B, Bisharp is in tier B. A lot of things that probably should be in higher or lower tiers are in tier B. So yeah, the other sorts of metas are kinda weird, and especially about the EVs, most of the walls are like, you know, the typical stally meta of like OU Showdown doesn't apply to PvPventure. It's interesting, but it's also mildly worrying, because there isn't as much of an opportunity to, you know, wall most of like the common threats in Showdown. Especially like Toxic and Perfect. Those things have fallen way out of favor. So yeah, you really need to like try adapting to PvPventure's meta. But once you do, it's actually quite a nice breath of fresh air from normal Showdown 6v6. And I guess you also get to develop other sorts of cancer strategies. Man, just wish they unbanned Urshifu Rapid Strike.
So talking about PvPventure, one thing that you can't ignore are the teams. The first team that I made was a bit funky, and well, it's centered around the Pokemon Shedinja. At that time, Shedinja was leaked and everyone was just spamming it in raids, so I got a bit angry and trolled some people by saying that Sandstorm was the best move on Shedinja. And well, I was partially right. Well, you see, Sandstorm KO Shedinja no matter what, and let's just say 4 turns of sand in 3v3 can be extremely broken. That's why I paired up Dracozolt and a Sandrush Excadrill with a Shedinja lead, so they can abuse sand to the fullest in these 4 turns. Clicking Volt Beaks and Swords Dance boosted Earthquakes under sand is so satisfying, especially considering that Shedinja itself could even wall some Pokemon as leads and Toxic Stall them. And only click Sandstorm when you're in a hard position. So yeah, this team works for some reason. Go figure.
Additional note on Shedinja, Ryan says it works, but like, I'd honestly say it just works half of the time. You see, what with the current meta as is, well, with Garchomp's, Grassy Glide Willowbooms, and Greninjas, Dracozolt can't always outrun everything, and secondly, is that people with their wits about them can kinda easily bait out the wrong attacks, and basically push the Dracozolt user into oblivion. Well, Excadrill might be able to cover up the gaps, but I wouldn't be 100% sure. Well, really, it's just up to the player and not really the Pokemon themselves 100%. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
The second team that I made up with, which was actually very effective, was a team consisting of Mega Aerodactyl, Rillaboom, and Heatran. So this was the start of my quote-unquote grassy terrain abuse history. Mega Aerodactyl doesn't really benefit much from grassy terrain, and well, it might be a hindrance for it for getting its Earthquake nerf, but geez, in the PvPventure meta, who would use Earthquake Mega Aerodactyl? Screw everything, I'm slapping on Ice Fang just to yeet Garchomp, aka the meta slave. One more thing, Heatran under grassy terrain is legit very good because first of all, it weakens its Earthquake weakness, and second of all, it provides passive recovery, which makes Protect stalling way more easier. And the job for Heatran on the team is probably to bait a Scarf Garchomp's Outrage, switch into Heatran, eat the Outrage up, trap the Garchomp with Magnastorm, and make the owner regret his life. A third team that I made, which was very successful, was a team featuring Magirna, which apparently isn't banned for some reason. Well, seeing as the meta is full of Garchomps, you would know why Magirna isn't banned. But the thing is, I have a bold Magirna lying around, and with the introduction of new items, well, I can slap a Grassy Seed on Magirna and make it tank Earthquakes like no one's business. So basically, this is an anti-meta build, baiting Garchomp users in relying on Earthquake to kill Magirna, but then flipping the tables on them with Grassy Seed plus Grassy Terrain plus Volt Nature Magirna. And well, in case things get out of hand and people start using Fire types like Mega Charizard Y, I still have a Jolly D-Dance Mega Charizard X in the back, which can, under Grassy Terrain, evade Earthquakes, weaken Earthquakes, and still dish out massive damage. I can't mention how many times I've won with this team, and I think I lost about 6 to 7 battles, I don't really recall. Let's just say that Grassy Seed Magirna is actually broken, because Demon Mag itself is very broken in and of itself. And when you add Grassy Terrain's passive recovery and Grassy Seed's +1 defense, so you can afford to run Shift Gear plus Calm Mind, dear god.
So, well, as Ryan says, the meta is filled with Garchomps, with priority abusers, with Greninja, with all of these insanely fast and insanely powerful meta monsters. So, you might think that something like Regieleki, which only has base 80 health at 50 defense stats without any easy investments, because this is PvPventure, remember, would be unable to thrive in such a situation. Well, there's one exception to this rule, in the form of Screen's Regieleki. This thing is honestly insane, and I cannot emphasize enough on just how broken screens on lead are. See, Aleki is better than Azelf or like Uxie in terms of screen setting. Sure, Uxie has levitate, but it doesn't have the offensive prowess, and instead it only relies on memento and or foul play, which half of the time doesn't work. Aleki, on the other hand, well, has Volt Switch to maintain offensive momentum, Thunderbolt for general attack, and then Light Screen and Reflect. This dual screens is always appreciated on every team, and with Volt Switch, Aleki can finish off a weakened mod, pivot into your desired sweeper, and that sweeper is going to live way more hits thanks to screens. So basically, Aleki in lead form can be slappable on basically every team. And yeah, also because it is incredibly fast, and it outspeds Cloyster at +2 speed. Yeah, you understand how busted Aleki can be. So basically, that's it, but like, I'd like to say that some of its best partners actually come in the form of Galarian Moltres. Because Moltres is like usually bad physical defense wise, but then Aleki's screens let it tank like outrages, body presence from Mega Aggro, basically a lot, like nobody's business. And just set up Nasty Pot, Agility, and then it's GG's. Unless you're fighting a Garchomp, in that case you need to set Nasty Pot up to +4. Yeah, that's just one of the combos you can run with Aleki. So basically, TLDR, Aleki is unlimited potential.
One thing we definitely forgot to talk about is, well, we had a tourney a few days ago that was about the PvP members, and then I was the one also participating in the tourney, and I didn't expect myself to make it very far into there, and that of course came true because, well, the team with the most amount of pros won, and I'm not necessarily a pro, I'm just a first timer in the tourney meta, but I still managed to go head to head with some of them, and I beat them because screens are broken, yada yada yada, because no EV and stuff, yeah. Basically, Pokeventure is a really weird meta, but PvP is quite interesting, and beating the odds, that's quite satisfying, not gonna lie. Oh, and Ryan also participated in the tourney, so yeah.
In short, during this relative boredom in Pokeventure, why not try out PvP? The PvP meta is constantly shifting, and PvP in Pokeventure is relatively unique and fun compared to Showdown, as, to be honest, Stall doesn't really exist here. And one more thing about some minor changes in my channel. I'll be posting videos once every 2 weeks now because school is nearing by and I want to adapt my life to better suit my future life. So yeah, more information will be posted down in the description below, so make sure to check that out. Anyways, yeah, see you in 2 weeks, I guess.